Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and I hear complaints about people saying that they are buying fake iPhones that are sealed in the box, and they don't understand how to check in the serial number or whatever. There are some things that you can do, like let's look at this iPhone 14 box. You see how the pull tab is ripped, and when we take this apart, we see that this little pull tab sits in the top of the box. So it's not really something that you can just remove or change. But here on this iPhone 15 Pro Max, I'm going to show you how to actually remove that and how to get into this box without actually damaging anything. That way you can check to see if it's a real phone, and I highly recommend doing that. There are some things that kind of give away if it's a fake box, at least. I mean, it could be a fake box in a real phone, or a real phone in a real box, or a fake box in a fake phone. One thing that I do notice about the font on here is that it kind of is raised and it has this little sparkle to it, like it's shiny. So that is one way to check to see if it's actually a real box, or at least close to a real box. The other thing is with the iPhone 15 series with a black light or with a UV light, you can actually see that it says iPhone right here and has a little barcode, and it'll have a little barcode on the bottom right here as well. Other than that, there's not really anything else here. Again, that's only for the iPhone 15 series, not for any other series. But the thing that we really want to check is we want to grab a heat gun or a hair dryer or something like that, and we want to heat up this little piece right here. Since we're not going to rip this pull tab, we can just heat up this thing a little bit, just for a few seconds. We don't want to melt it. And then we can get a razor blade, and you can actually cut into the adhesive very carefully. Obviously, trying not to scratch the box and trying not to rip this little thing right here. But we want to get just a little bit so you can get your fingers in and start pulling it. We're going to add a little bit of heat and slowly lift this up, making sure that this little piece of tape or whatever you want to call it isn't separating. It's just being removed from the box. Again, too much heat can ruin this, and not enough heat can make this very difficult to pull. Not to mention it will rip on the actual box itself. So you just have to add a little bit of heat, pull a little bit more, and just keep doing this until the tension is a little bit weak. And you want to pull the same way that I'm doing. You don't want to pull all the way from one side. You want to carefully lift up the bottom. And once that's separated from the box, we can just lift it up like this, and we can actually see the phone. You can take out the phone. You can see how the cameras are, how they're very dark. Like there are camera sensors there, but it is a dark sensor. It's not like super light or the color is different. It's hard to explain, but when you see fake phones, the cameras are just super obvious. You don't want cameras to be very obvious on this. And powering on this phone, you can actually see that the Apple logo is on, but the rest of the screen is black. It's not gray or anything like that because it is an OLED panel. You want to make sure that that looks good and that the bezels are very uniform because that's how iPhones are. And looking at the top, you can see the bezels are still uniform, go all the way to the top like this, and we'll have the notch island or a notch depending on which phone you're opening up. There are some other things that will let you know if it's real or not, but that's the gist of it. And all we got to do now is check what's in the box, make sure nothing has been moved, and then we can set the phone back in the box, fold it back over, and seal it back up like this. Now, I'm not trying to scam anyone, and I was actually giving someone this phone, so I put a screen protector on, and I just sealed it up like this, so then they get the pleasure of opening it up like it's a brand new phone. And regardless, I always recommend doing something like this because you don't want to buy a fake phone, and you definitely don't want to buy a bunch of fake phones. And I just showed you how easy it is to put a fake into a brand new box. So be safe out there. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully you learned something. And as always, thanks for watching.